The first bullet tore through the porcelain mug in Pam Bondi's hand, sending scalding coffee splashing across her wrist and shards of ceramic clattering to the tile floor. The second ripped through the wooden frame of her back door, missing her head by no more than an inch. The kitchen, moments ago bathed in the quiet hum of early morning, exploded into chaos. Pam didn't scream. She dropped instinctively, landing hard on her elbows and knees. Her breath came shallow and fast, but her mind was already racing. 8 years as Florida's Attorney General had trained her to move through fear. This wasn't a random break-in. This wasn't a robbery. This was a message. She crawled across the floor, ignoring the sting on her arm where the coffee had burned her skin. Her phone was 6 feet away, still on the counter. The back door, the source of the shots, was now illuminated by piercing white light. A spotlight. Military grade. "Ms. Bondi," a voice bellowed from outside. "FBI. Hands where we can see them." That stopped her cold. FBI. Firing into her home? She froze behind the kitchen island, her breath fogging the floor tiles beneath her. This wasn't protocol. She knew the rules, the procedures, the paperwork. None of them included warning shots through a private window. Not at 5:15 in the morning. Not without a warrant. Not like this. She reached beneath the hall table and pressed a recessed button twice. Her security team would know. Not a drill. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Still crouched low, she answered. "Hello." "Ms. Bondi," said a calm, professional voice. "This is Special Agent Marcus Townsend with the FBI. We need to speak with you immediately regarding an ongoing investigation." Pam's pulse spiked. If this was Townsend, then who the hell was outside her door? "There are armed men in my yard claiming to be FBI agents," she said. "They fired into my kitchen." "Are they yours?" A pause. "No, ma'am. We're just arriving now. ETA 3 minutes. Stay put and get to a secure location. Do not engage." Pam ended the call and slid across the floor to a hidden switch behind her bookshelf. Cameras activated. Recording streamed directly to a secure server. If someone wanted to play dirty, they'd better be ready for exposure. "I'm opening the door," she shouted. "I am unarmed. Identify yourselves properly." She rose slowly, hands visible, stepping toward the shattered door. Through the glass, 3 figures in tactical gear stood motionless. Balaclavas. Rifles. FBI letters. But something felt off. The first man stormed in, weapon aimed directly at her chest. Not FBI protocol. Not even close. "Pamela Bondi," the man barked, "you're under investigation for obstruction of justice and interfering with federal witnesses." She didn't flinch. "Show me your credentials and your warrant." "You'll see it downtown," he snapped. "No," Pam said, her voice steady, "you'll show it to me now." Just then, sirens wailed in the distance. Real law enforcement, finally arriving. The men froze. Pam stepped forward, adrenaline giving her courage. "I suggest you hurry," she said. "Because in 10 seconds, you'll be surrounded." They backed off, retreating the way they came. "This isn't over," the leader growled before disappearing into the darkness. Pam stood alone in the chaos of her kitchen, the smell of coffee, gunpowder, and fear mingling in the air. Her phone buzzed again. "Ms. Bondi, this is Townsend. We're outside. Palm Beach PD has the perimeter secured. Are you safe?" She exhaled. "For now." Special Agent Marcus Townsend stood in Pam Bondi's foyer, his FBI jacket zipped halfway, a holstered Glock visible beneath his coat. He scanned the damage, shattered porcelain, broken doorframe, bullet-pocked tile, and said nothing at first. Pam, now dressed in a dark blazer and slacks, stood composed but alert. Her personal attorney, David Mitchell, had just arrived and stood beside her. "Those men," Pam said firmly, "whoever they were, knew exactly what to say. They used my name. They referenced charges. They even cited a case I worked on in 2016. Townsend nodded grimly. "That's what worries me. They weren't just impersonating agents. They were briefed, trained, and coordinated." He opened a clear evidence bag and handed it to Pam. Inside was a small black device with a blinking red light. "What's this?" "A listening device. Found it in your rose bushes. Military grade." Whoever planted it had access and precision. You were being surveilled, Ms. Bondi. Pam's pulse quickened. I swept the property last month. My security team would have caught it. Whoever did this knew that too. We believe it was planted no more than 72 hours ago. David leaned in. This is targeted harassment. They're trying to intimidate her before her testimony before Congress. Pam nodded. They want to discredit me before I speak. Townsend took a breath. There's something else. We detected a breach in the FBI's internal case system early this morning. Someone created false warrants. Your name was all over them. Obstruction of justice. Witness tampering. Financial misconduct. Pam's eyes narrowed. Who authorized them? That's the problem, Townsend said. No one. They were injected from inside DOJ servers. Someone on the inside is trying to frame you. David looked stunned. So we're talking about an operation within the government itself? Yes, Townsend confirmed. High-level access. High-level clearance. And if they were willing to send armed men to your house before dawn, they're desperate. Pam clenched her jaw. I want to know who's behind this. I'm not backing down. You shouldn't, Townsend replied. But you need to protect yourself. We'd like to relocate you to a secure facility until we identify who's orchestrating this. Pam raised an eyebrow. You mean a safe house? It's protocol. No, she said immediately. If someone inside the system is involved, then there's no such thing as safe. Townsend hesitated. Then we increase security here. But Ms. Bondi, I must ask, what were you planning to say in front of Congress that would provoke this level of response? Pam took a deep breath. I was going to name names. DOJ officials who blocked investigations. FBI personnel who buried evidence for political reasons. I have documentation. Townsend. Emails. Memos. Internal reports. Townsend's expression darkened. Then you're more dangerous to them than we thought. At that moment, a junior agent entered with a report in hand. Sir, NBS News just went live with a breaking story. They're reporting that Ms. Bondi is under investigation for campaign finance violations tied to her foundation. Pam's heart sank. David stepped forward. That's a lie. There is no investigation. The reporter's name? Pam asked. Lisa Chen. Pam's face hardened. Carter Sullivan's ex-fiancée. This isn't just personal. It's political. And they're playing dirty. Townsend turned toward his agent. Get me a secure line to the director. Now. Then he faced Pam again. If you're right, this has just escalated to the highest level. And we'll need to bring the full weight of the Bureau and Congress into this. 3 days later, Pam Bondi walked into the packed hearing room of the House Judiciary Committee, flanked by her attorney David Mitchell and 2 aides. Camera flashes lit up the chamber as reporters whispered and typed furiously. The country was watching. Across the room sat Carter Sullivan, now suspended from his role as head of the FBI's Public Corruption Unit. His eyes met Pam's briefly before darting away. Congressman James Harrington called the hearing to order. Today's session concerns the unauthorized use of federal law enforcement resources to target a private citizen for political reasons. Pam took her seat, unfolding a set of documents. She spoke with steady conviction. Chairman Harrington, members of the committee, 3 days ago I was the victim of an armed raid orchestrated by men impersonating federal agents. What followed was a smear campaign designed to destroy my credibility before I could testify today. She paused. But I came anyway. Screens lit up with video footage, security camera clips from her home, audio recordings, internal emails retrieved by her cybersecurity team. Each piece connected to a larger conspiracy. Members of the committee watched in stunned silence. Pam turned to the panel. I was targeted because I was about to name individuals who used political influence to bury investigations. One of them is sitting in this room. Gasps echoed as Congressman Harrington held up the document Pam had provided. An email chain implicating Sullivan in suppressing a healthcare fraud investigation tied to political donors. Mr. Sullivan, Harrington said sharply, you've been given an opportunity to respond. Sullivan leaned toward the mic, but remained silent. His attorney whispered in his ear. We'll be invoking the Fifth Amendment, the lawyer announced. That was it. Pam closed her folder and looked out at the crowd. You can threaten me. You can smear my name. But I will not be silenced. The truth has a way of surviving. The room erupted in quiet applause, unusual for a congressional hearing. Harrington nodded solemnly. This committee will refer all findings to the Inspector General and recommend the appointment of a special counsel. Pam stood, her voice firm yet calm. Let the investigation continue, but this time, let it be honest. In a world where truth is too often buried beneath power plays and political agendas, Pam Bondi proved that courage and conviction still matter. Her story is a reminder that standing up for what's right isn't easy, but it's always worth it. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real stories that challenge, inspire, and reveal the truth.